What is up, everybody? Welcome back into the Carbonite Cruise Show. May the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars
May
Day.
the fourth be
And
with you.
the new Kenobi trailer just dropped. Oh my gosh. If your goal was to make me try to cry at work, you almost succeeded. Let's
Yep.
jump into this.
Dude, the music. I just can't get over it. The intro music.
It's so good.
They're just like casually strolling on Tatooine. Why are they on Tatooine? I need to know.
Oh, dude, all the TIE fighters hanging.
That wanted picture.
I need to look up what that looks it says in Arabic. Is that
We don't.
the guy from the Eternals?
Yeah, it is. It looks like he had Jedi robes on.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you take it away.
All right. So one of the first things we see, I think it's like the second or third image, is the three Inquisitors. They look like they're getting off a ship and they're like walking down the street in Tatooine. Why are they on Tatooine, Tyler? I need you to tell me.
The way the Grand Inquisitor is walking, he just looks like he knows he's at the bee's knees.
The bee's knees.
I say bee's knees for
I
monetization
bet.
purposes in the future.
I bet that's how he talks about himself too. I bet he calls himself the bee's knees.
I am the bee's knees. Where is Kenobi?
Where is Kenobi?
But he does. Like, I don't know if like it bothers me. He just looks like
Listen, it bothers me how slow they're moving. They're never gonna get anywhere walking that slow.
Maybe it's
There's a lot of streets in Tatooine. I guess it could be slow mo, but they look like they're pretty slow to me. Who are they looking for? Because Luke is on Tatooine and Obi-Wan is on Tatooine, but I feel like it doesn't make sense for them to know that either of them is there, right? We're gonna find out one day that Tatooine is like where life was created in the Star Wars universe.
Right.
Do you have any theories? Like, is there another Force sensitive person there that we just don't know about?
Yeah, so I'm sticking to my guns and I am saying that they are clearly looking like Obi-Wan is wanted, right? I think that's a thing.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
I don't think he's the one they're looking for. No, I think someone else is on Tatooine that's Force. Maybe it's maybe it's that actor's. I need to know that actor's name. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna say Kingo because it's way easier to say. That's his name in the Eternals. What you said, they kind of look like Jedi robes. Like maybe he is a Jedi,
Yeah.
maybe he was.
That's a good point.
Force, because I think
Mhm.
whatever brings them there is Force. Like they know it was used or something along those lines. Because other Force sensitive users can tell like when the Force has been used or like sense it. Like I guess Grogu's a good example with Luke. Like he called Luke, right? I think they can feel it be used. Hence why you don't see Obi-Wan and everybody using the Force like during this time.
Right.
You know, they would know that. I think it's someone else. I don't think it's Obi-Wan. I'm sure maybe they find him or maybe he starts fighting back.
Yeah, the word you used earlier was misdirect. That makes the most sense because if they knew Luke was on Tatooine, that'd be a problem, right? Because then Vader would know. And the same thing with Obi-Wan.
And that was the whole point of going to Tatooine.
How does episode 4 end up happening? You know what I mean? So I think it has to be somebody else. And maybe we just won't know who it is until we find out. Maybe Ahsoka was there, like it could be something like that too.
What if, now we're going to get into a little bit of theories here. We already know that this whole show is going to be heartbreaking. Like, just the tone is so dark of the show. Look at the poster. Look at the trailer. Yeah. It's all very gray and that dark yellow. Yeah. And it's just it's the dark times. It's the Empire. What I'm going to say is completely out there, but I'm going to do it anyway to break my own heart. There's that scene where Obi-Wan is looking at through the little goggles and he sees little Luke, right?
Yeah.
What if that is not the same moment? What if Obi-Wan looking through the goggles and he takes them down and he looks kind of like defeated, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because he's looking off in the distance at Vader standing at Shmi Skywalker's grave.
What?
And he knows he can't confront him because it's not the time or the place.
Whoa, that's quite a theory you've got going on there.
It's out there, but like, if you're gonna break our hearts, like just go send it, like full send. just do it. Just do everything you can.
Crush it. Speaking of things that broke your heart today, how about that quote that we get from Lars? No. Owen, right? Owen Lars.
Owen Lars.
Like you trained his father. Yeah, that's messed up, bro. Stay in your lane, Owen. That's Obi-Wan Kenobi he's talking to.
You know why that line is so heartbreaking?
Yeah, because, I do actually.
Oh, there are many reasons. I think one of the reasons it's so heartbreaking is because we've seen the line or something along those lines in texts, in comics and books. We've seen it, on threads, on theories. I don't feel like we've ever really heard something like that out loud.
Mhm.
especially to
Yeah.
Obi-Wan. We've heard Obi-Wan
Yeah.
said, "I failed," but we've never seen it said to him, "You failed." Because even Yoda's
Mhm.
like, "No, like we'll fix this. It's all good."
Right, right. Yeah, Yoda doesn't blame it on him.
But Lars straight up like, "Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like you suck."
Yeah,
And
and then that look on Obi-Wan's face afterwards is just like, "Oh, man, he's just, like, living in the guilt of everything that's happened," because he just blames himself for all of it, and it just makes you wonder, like,
Mhm.
what that is gonna look like in this show, that he's just so broken and defeated, and man, it's brutal.
One thing that like really got me earlier was him talking to Owen Lars in that second where he's like, "The boy must be trained." When he says that, because it was the first time I feel like we've heard Obi-Wan talk and say like lines. Like we got the voiceover in the first trailer, but like I got to watch Ewan McGregor say lines as Obi-Wan Kenobi, like as part of the dialogue in the show for the first time in 17 years.
Mhm.
And it just
17
all
years.
came crawling back. Like it hit me like this is happening. Like I am going back to my childhood, and it
Mhm.
was overwhelming to say the least.
No kidding. Yeah, it's pretty intense. It just makes you wonder. I think this show is just gonna be so emotional. I think they're really gonna just like go after it. All right. So the next thing we do is we hear the voiceover, and it's the voice that says you still want Kenobi, and he's gone is what they say. And so I think that's the fifth brother talking in that scene, and I think he's talking to that Riva Inquisitor, right? It's like why does she care about Obi-Wan Kenobi?
It seems like it's her that's going after him,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
she says, "I want every lowlife and bounty hunter to squeeze him out." I
Mm-hmm.
think it's another
Mm-hmm.
misdirect. There is another Jedi in this show. Realistically, let's bring this into Earth, right? Let's bring this back to Earth 616 for a minute, right where we're at. You and I
Mm-hmm.
were best friends, right? I turned to Vader because I mean that would be more likely to happen between us. I turned to Vader. You're Obi Wan. You get the
Uh-huh.
best of
Yeah.
me. You live. I live. Blah blah blah. I
Mm-hmm.
find out, and maybe Vader doesn't know. So, but we're gonna assume he does. Vader knows Obi Wan's alive,
Yep.
bro. Like if that's you and I don't care if I have the best Inquisitors in the land. I'm taking care of this myself. This is not.
Mm,
It
that's
is.
a
It's
very,
too
very good point.
it's too personal there. There's no way I'm sending anyone else. There's nothing more important in the galaxy because the whole goal is to take out the rest of the Jedi for a while. As far as we
Yeah.
know, there's two Jedi left that
Mm.
are like threats. It's Obi-Wan and it's Yoda. So that's why it's like hard to believe that these guys were going after Obi-Wan. I hate to even say this out loud because I'd honestly be kind of irked if this was a thing, but it's very
Mm-hmm.
possible. What if it was like Grogu? Because he was on Tatooine.
And he survives Order 66.
It's a catch-22 because it's like I think it takes away from the Obi-Wan aspect and it feels like they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to throw you in like let's throw this on there too because we all know you love it. But at the same time, even
Yeah.
for the more casual fans, they love it. So
Mm-hmm. I didn't think about that. You're right. It totally could. Totally could pop up.
he very well could because we
Interesting.
don't know who took him.
I guess we could see Yoda too.
We
I
really
hadn't thought
could
about
see
that.
Yoda. That's been like everyone has been talking about Qui-Gon, being a Force ghost or even just his presence being there. No one talked about Yoda
Who is just like alive and just
because
like hanging out.
Obi-Wan could easily go to
I hope we
Dagobah.
get a Qui-Gon Force Ghost. That would make my day. Do you think we'll get any other like bounty hunter cameos?
Do you think we get Boba Fett?
Maybe, right? Like we could.
You and I have not talked about this, and I haven't talked about it on here because we haven't talked about it. Um, there are three separate images from the last trailer that people have picked apart, and one is a silhouette, a blaster, and something else. And people are pretty convinced it's Cad Bane. Timeline makes sense. They just introduced him into the live action, which would make sense why they did that if they're gonna bring him into this to make it more
Mm-hmm.
impactful now than before. And it would appease everybody with him getting killed. And now, we get to see more of him. Him and Kenobi have that history from the Clone Wars. We've seen. So I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe there's just a thing out. Maybe there's just a bounty out there for Obi-Wan in general. Maybe Cad Bane finds him. Kenobi gets away from him, uses the lightsaber. Maybe that's what triggers. I
Right.
feel like we're doing more theorizing than breakdown, but like they think Kenobi's on Tatooine. Wouldn't Vader start putting things together? I guess he doesn't know about Luke though. Oh my gosh.
I think that the Tatooine has to be somebody else. Like somebody else has to be there because if he
Okay.
knew about Obi-Wan being there, he would have found him by now. We would have, you know what I mean? Like, and we know he doesn't. So unless he just like is
Okay.
afraid of Obi-Wan.
This is 10 Jedi who survived Order 66. So we have Cal Kestis from the video game, Fallen Order.
Mm.
Jocasta Nu apparently made it off, who she is, the old librarian who's kind of terrifying in some sort of way in Attack of the
Hmm.
Clones. Kanan, like we said, Caleb Doom is alive. What if it is him? Because in Rebels, when Vader approaches Kanan and Ezra, Kanan makes a comment as if he's met Vader before or seen him.
Oh yeah, he's not surprised about
And he's
Vader.
just like, he basically tells Ezra, like, no, like, we need to go. Like, we don't want to mess with this.
Hmm.
Do you think Vader comes after Kanan or insert other Jedi name and Obi-Wan saves them? And that's the duel?
I do actually think that's what happens. Yeah. Yes.
I'd be pissed if I was Vader getting interrupted by the dude that beat me. Like, I'd be mad. We have like a list of notes that we're trying to follow, but it's hard because we have so many thoughts because Star Wars is our
Hmm.
first love. But you have a note on here, which might be the best note of any show notes we've ever done. But you said, can't wait to see Vader's house.
I can't. I'm
Me
excited
neither.
about it.
I can't wait either. I'm sure his decor is on point. I,
Oh
I'm
gosh,
sure
well,
he's
how
got
does Darth Vader
LEDs.
decorate his living room?
We
Oh my
probably will see
goodness.
Vader's. I'm gonna call it Vader's house from now on. Vader's castle's too ominous. Vader's house,
Mm,
so uncivilized, but he's gotta do
so
it.
uncivilized.
He's gotta do
It's
it.
just interesting. Like
Um,
we don't see him use his lightsaber in the trailer, and so it makes you wonder. Like,
oh, we're
is
not
that
gonna
just
see it
him
till
trying
episode
to hide?
6.
Oh, you don't think so? Not till the very
No,
end.
there's no way. Of course not.
What?
There's
That'd be
no way we
messed
see it
up.
till episode 6.
And
When we
then
do
we
our
and
reviews of
then
this in a few
we
weeks, that's all we're
he
gonna talk
he
about.
uses it he uses it once, and it's for the best duel we've ever seen between him and Darth Vader.
Do you honestly think this is way better than the Battle of Mustafar?
Yeah.
You do?
Hmm. How much
I'm trying to
cooler
find
is
the
it
words
gonna
this time.
be? Think of that battle, right? Think of that battle in episode 3, but picture Anakin as with the Darth Vader suit instead. And how
He's
much
way more
cooler is it?
powerful.
He is. He's gonna be like he'll be stronger. He'll be even more vicious is maybe the word I want to use, but like he's even more down the road of into the dark side, right? Like wherever there was even little bits of hesitation in episode 3, like that's gone now. It's been years and he is just like in it now, right? Like he is the dark lord of the Sith that we know him to be.
Oh, man.
I think it's going to be like crazy intense. They have two options, right? They either don't do it, right? They don't do a battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. They don't really confront each other, or they do like some thing. But if you're going to put it in, it has to be perfect, right? You can't mess it up.
I can't imagine the stress of the screenwriters because you're gonna have some serious dialogue. I want some sort of line where Vader explicitly tells Obi-Wan out loud how you failed.
That's his best friend. It's his best friend. He'll know exactly what Obi-Wan feels. He'll play into the guilt. He'll blame him and like call out the like insecurities that Obi-Wan has, and it's just gonna be, oh my gosh.
You got Anakin Skywalker killed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you
Oh, he's
killed
gonna
him.
refer to himself as a third person like that, isn't he?
Because he does, like, he says that
Holy
to
crap.
Ahsoka. To
Yeah.
Ahsoka, he says the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. It's like
Oh
she's
my
like, "Oh,
goodness.
like Anakin, like I won't leave you," and he's like, "Well, you're gonna die then." Like, which I think is just the most gangster line. I won't leave you, not this time. Well, then you're done. Sorry. That's a
Man.
verbal middle finger, is what that is. Let's talk about this Vader scene at the end. We see basically him start to get the suit put on. We see a claw inserting the chest piece, right? So this must be a
Mm-hmm.
part where he's got like robotics on, I would assume. This was weird for me to see because you and I grew up with that Darth Vader helmet that had it like attached with like a necklace type thing. So like I've
Uh-huh.
always
Yeah.
been on the assumption it was like somehow attached like that to the armor. You see the shot of Obi-Wan. He opens his eyes. He's in some kind of darkness. We're led to believe that this is the moment he's confronting Vader, which I completely do not think that is this moment at all. I don't
Yeah,
think you
no.
do either. This
Right.
is a misdirect. I think 100%. So much to unpack in
I
this
can't wait.
trailer. I cannot wait for this show. Happy Star Wars Day, everybody. And if you're watching this on not May the 4th, a happy Star Wars month, because there's stuff going on all month. It's celebrate Star Wars any way you know how. There's so much content. We have podcasts to listen to. We have other videos on our channel about Star Wars and just about pop culture in general, including Marvel, DC, Fantastic Beasts. I did a review of that movie
Mm-hmm.
recently. Go back and watch that. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you are excited about for the Kenobi show. If you are listening in podcast form, thank you so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe to the show to be alerted when a new episode drops. All right, well, until next time, friends and family, may the force be with you, and we'll see you next week.